G'day all, my name's Christoph. I'm the founder of Hyper. Hyper is it's a hyperlocation social commerce network, or location-based social commerce network. Why did I build it? So going back to lockdowns in 2020 in Melbourne, Australia, which we had the world's longest lockdown, didn't really truly know what was actually going around our neighbourhood. Didn't know what businesses are offering, what kind of sort of deals or sales. Didn't really know what other folks are doing things nearby. Yes, we had things like Google Maps and Foursquare and Facebook, Instagram and whatnot. But yeah, that's more on a global scale. So it was very hard to kind of understand what was going on around you and nearby your local neighbourhood. So yeah, so this is my attempt on creating something which allows you to view what's actually going around you, nearby you, from a social perspective and also a commerce perspective. So from a user's point of view, I can always see what folks are doing in the local neighbourhood. As you'll soon see, I'll walk you through the app. This is going to be quite a long sort of walk through because I do want to get into quite a few of the details. Over the course of the week, I'll release some smaller snippets of specific features. But also getting back to retailers and sort of the whole retail economy. I mean, that was decimated by all these lockdowns, and you couldn't really see what was going on. So with Hyper as well, we're going to be releasing a whole stack of mobile commerce or hyper-local commerce tools as well, which, as you'll see, eventually, we'll go through some of these features as well. So I wanted to introduce the app. So this is the main timeline view that we currently have. It's structured in two sort of components. You've got following and also you've got nearby. So following is the traditional kind of notion that you would understand already with other platforms where you could follow an individual like a user. We'll also have the capability of following places as well. So in our view of some of the core sort of primitives, a place or a venue is should be just as dynamic and lively as a user would as well. So you'll be able to follow places as well. So as you can see on this particular timeline view, we use cards. So I think we've got some pretty nice looking cards created to give you that richness of context where we're trying to convey. So we think context is super important in the application. Yes, you could do, yes, hey, I'm checking in here, doing something. But it's always good to add some additional context to a user, what they're doing, and some details about it as well. We've tried to make the whole sort of check-in experience very quite seamless and not too much friction going on. So hopefully folks will actually utilize a lot of the check-in sort of activity features that we have. So as you can see here, this particular check-in over here is one of a type working. So with working, it's actually a cool we think it's kind of cool that you can actually add your own projects you're working on in your profile and then reference them in the check-in itself automatically. And then you can provide other context in there. So in this particular case, grabbing some awesome Greek food whilst working on Hyper as one of the sort of projects. And, just go back in there. As you can see, we've got the standard sort of likes, you've got the comments, hello world, let's send that. And, we've got quite a nice reply experience here. So this is a reply. So we've got like a nice sort of, reply sort of design as well. You can obviously edit and you kind of check in or comment within an hour. That's kind of out of the box itself. You could repost, you could quote, use media we haven't actually implemented just yet. And you can share to the standard sort of networks. We've got like share cards, which work natively with Android and iOS. So that was one of the check-in cards for activities. There's another one we've got for, say, watching. So we can basically bring in a lot of external information from other services. So in this case, we leverage sort of all the sort of iTunes and Apple ecosystem. We're expanding out to Spotify, a bunch of other sort of providers. But the beauty of this is, if you are running on, say, iOS in this particular case, it'll just take you to the show itself, and then you can start watching it as well. So once again, we're trying to provide that deep level of context of what's going on. We've got listening as well. I'll go through a whole list of activities that we have. But yeah, another one is listening. I'm just in char time, and I thought I might as well listen to like a bubble tea song or something to that degree. So one thing we're always looking at is the finer details of design as well. So as you can see here, you've got the avatar for Railway Hotel. So the venue owner, this is all in a dev environment, but the venue owner would have updated their avatar, and that would actually transcend through our timeline as well. So I think branding is very important to a lot of folks, so we want to keep that consistency going through the app. Still a little bit of ways to go to push it through the whole ecosystem in here, but timeline view is obviously a very important one. And we've got other sort of capabilities for checking in. Okay, also the most important thing now is nearby. So we obviously we want to focus on the locality of your user experience. So with nearby, we do a 2-kilometer radius of the application, of the view itself. This will then aggregate all the events which are happening in that particular area and present it in the timeline itself. So we have different capabilities of visibility of what you post. You've got public, you've got followers, you've got friends, which is mutual, and obviously there's a private option as well. So as long as you are in one of those groups, so say your mutual friend or in public or following, this will actually populate all this, and same as following as well. So as you can see here, this is behind the scenes, all the check-ins that happened around, in this particular case, Yarraville in Melbourne, Australia. So basically this will only show you events which are happening around there, whilst following is global and you could follow anyone or any place at that stage. So this is where you're predominantly going to live most of your time. Looking through here, over time, once the commerce capabilities come online, you'll see a lot more rich cards in here. So these are quite, I think, quite nice as they are, but there'll be quite a few dynamic cards happening as well. So there'll be a bunch of interactions you can do with the venue owner. So think maybe spinning a lucky wheel or golden ticket, a bunch of other sort of like mini Flappy Bird type of events to win maybe prizes or win some sort of loyalty bonus to that effect, or something to that effect. So yeah, we've got a quite a long, extensive list of cards we want to do, and I think be super innovative. And we don't want to divulge everything just yet, but so watch this space for that particular feature. We've also got the Explore view. So the Explore view is basically just the standard map view you would see. There should be one check in here, but this is obviously a bug got to fix. So with Explore view, we allow folks to have their presence enabled. So if it's in public, you'll see other avatars checking into these places and you'll see who's there, so who's around you. We want to build that sense of community for folks in the neighbourhoods. We don't want this to be another faceless, nameless global entity. The community they build around you, it's real. This just kind of helps aggregate and sort of show what's happening in live time effectively. So in Explore view, you could basically just click through on certain entities. We're still fleshing out the data on the back end, so this is still kind of light. We've got some details. So if I click on full view here, you'll see what time it closes. It'll give you the details of the street, the website URL, who's here now and who's kind of recently checked in and things like that. It'll give you a bunch of categories, statistics and so forth. You can just click on here to check in. So we'll go through that later on, but just that's kind of what it looks like. So we're still working on the data layer. That's still kind of being improved on daily. We have a bunch of providers we're working with to make sure we can enrich the user experience that we provide to you. So we're hoping to, in here over time, let's just go back to the full preview. Over time, we want to, through AI and other mechanisms, provide you ways of creating ratings on here. There'll be options for like menus, pages, posts. There'll be other capabilities around here, but also, we're bringing in data from TripAdvisor and Google for some sites. So that's progressively kind of rolling out to certain venues behind the scenes. So you can just scroll around. Obviously, this will update in real time where all the details are. We're still obviously working on it just to optimize these things. You can also search at the top. So say you're just looking for a restaurant nearby, that'll just bring back the data around you for type restaurants. If you're looking for something like a bar, there we go. It'll list all that. You can click through then. To see what that actually is, all the details, where it is. Gives you like a little map view where things are. So, this will center the venue itself and, provide that rich, hopefully rich context detail eventually as well. Okay, so one thing over here, we basically have recents as well. If you're doing this over multiple days and weeks, whatever, this will nicely organize all your searches as well. So we'll close that down. You could just filter on here for just restaurants or just coffee as well, just on the view itself. And should auto update all this sort of different components. So still kind of work in progress there, but that's kind of looking pretty, I think, pretty swish. We've got some great ideas we want to do with Explore View here as well. Don't want to reveal too much, but I think it'll be very innovative and unique once the full platform is in place. And next across what we have is the check-in button. So check-ins are pioneered by Foursquare, so shout out to them for creating this truly unique interaction. So with check-ins, by default what you'll see is this. At the top you've got this, your basic visibility of this check-in. So it could be public, followers, friends, or just only you. By default, when you sign up, everything is public, but you can wind back down to just, the settings that you're comfortable with. By default, what we do is we do reverse geocoding behind the scenes, so we know kind of where you are and just what neighborhood you're in. So that'll tell you, in this particular case, Yarraville. And on top of that, what this will allow you to do is bring back about 30 different other venues around you. It's organized by distance. Then also gives you a little bit of details of how many check-ins this venue's had, how many folks have been there in the past as well, and just minor details. Over time, we obviously think branding is a big thing, so we want to push all the branding details through here. And when the commerce capabilities come online, this will get enriched as well with quite a bit more detail, which don't want to get into too much just yet, but once again, I think it'll be pretty awesome when we do that. If you don't see a venue, which is on the actual sheet itself, you can actually add your own. This will go through a process behind the scenes of us approving, but you'll be able to check in straight away through it as well. It's very lightweight, very light touch. Just provide some details here, and after hours or behind the scenes, we'll go through and try to enrich it some more as well. Okay, so say checking into Grilled Burger Bar here. So one thing we want to obviously provide is a deep level of context, and we think activities are the way to go. So with activities, you're basically providing the user just a little bit more detail what you would normally do. Over time, with the enrichment of data that we're trying to get to, say you're in a grilled burger bar here. So at the moment, you'll notice these little arrows here, which will take you to another screen with more metadata that you can select. Over time, what we want to do is enrich this, say eating, with the actual menu items that they have within grilled. And this will actually apply to a whole stack of other categories that we want to apply this to as well. I think from there we'll be able to provide you a richer, better experience with some of the other future sort of ideas that we have. For now, we obviously need to walk before we can run, so we're trying to get the base platform sorted, and then we'll go from there. But say you're in the grilled burger bar here, say I'm listening to something, right? So we get all the trending sort of details from, say, Apple Music in this case, or you listen to an audiobook, or you listen to a podcast. You could search for like your favorite podcast, and you could just select it in there, and that'll add to the metadata itself. And then you can say, yeah, hello, hello world, I'm listening to this. So from there, you could check in, or if you have other friends, you could tag other folks. For tagging, you have to be mutual friends. Obviously, we don't want to have enable folks tagging random people willy-nilly. And you can also just upload photos. So we allow 4 photos at this point in time while we scale things behind the scenes. So in this particular case, yeah, you should be able to just check in, and you go through there, and if you just, there you go, hello world, I'm listening to this here. Now, if I see this on a phone, running on an emulator here, but if I click on listen, that'll take me to this particular podcast, and I'll be able to listen to it as well. So it's always nice to share that deep level of context with other folks that you've got around you. Finally, we have activities, which is basic notifications. So we have a deep level of notifications here. There's many different types, all the different interactions. It works on Android and iOS. So I guess everyone's kind of used to all these things. And then you've got your profile view over here. We think, once again, we think branding is very important. So editing this profile, you can basically alter the background colors. That will change depending if it's light and dark on a theme as well. So you can change background color, you can change your fonts. So I know Verdana if you're kind of so inclined, or I'll just stick it onto Arial Bold. And on top of that, we've also got the capability of adding all your different social sort of services platforms. And obviously, as I kind of alluded previously, you can add your project here. And when you do the work check-in, you could select that and give people that deep level of context of what you're working on as well. So on the place profile as well, you'll be able to see this as well. So if I go back to say, I'll be using Rail Hotel as a good use case here. So over time, they can add all their socials as well and other capabilities, and this will slowly start building out the place as a really live entity that you can interact with, and other folks will be able to claim these venues and then obviously own the whole sort of profile itself. We'll be able to get others, if you've got other staff involved, you'll be able to delegate some of the work or some of the sort of updates in here as well. So things like posts, things like menus, and other sort of fun things we want to get going as well. But yeah, so this is the basic overview of V1, as we like to call it. So this has been the initial building the social platform itself from the ground up, from inception to like the V1. We've still got quite a long ways to go, a lot of improvements to go over time. So we're looking at obviously enriching the data in V2, and V3 will be bringing in all the commerce capabilities. But I hope you really enjoyed this sort of walkthrough, and I look forward to releasing a lot more features and get us on all the socials. You can go to hyper.lc, which is our website. It's quite fortunate actually, it's hyperlocal, so hyper.lc. You can always get us on X on hyper.dotlc or threads hyper.dotlc as well. And I look forward to hearing from you, and super excited to showcase what this can do. This is only just the beginning. This is, the V1, the initial inception, and I look forward to speaking to a whole lot of you afterwards. Thank you.